In an earlier video, link shown below, evidence was presented that racial gerrymandering of Georgia's 6th congressional district will occur if the redistricting plan released by the Georgia legislature on October 1st is adopted. But the mechanisms underlying the gerrymandering weren't considered at all. In this video, we drill down and uncover step by step how this gerrymandering was accomplished. The changes to Georgia 6 will be related to changes in neighboring districts. First, let's review the evidence from the first video using the simple bar chart shown here. The red bars show the percent change in population needed to make the population of each district match an ideal target count. The target count is simply the new Georgia population count divided by the number of districts. From the chart, you can see that Georgia 7 will experience the biggest loss of population, while the biggest gain will be in Georgia 2nd. You can also see that Georgia 6 needs almost no change to meet the ideal target. The gray bars show the percent change of black voters registered for the November 2020 election after applying the redistricting plan. The chart shows that Georgia 6 will experience the biggest relative loss of registered black voters, despite the fact that almost no change in overall population is needed. You can also see that Georgia 7 will paradoxically experience the largest percent increase of registered black voters, despite the need to shed more than 10% of its population to meet the ideal target. As you'll see, this is actually part of the Georgia 6 story. So that's the overall setting in which Georgia 6 stands out for its relative loss of registered black voters if the new redistricting plan is enacted as proposed. The actual number of black voters lost is about 23,000. The number is significant when you consider that Lucy McBath, the current Georgia 6 representative and a black lady, won her first Georgia 6 election by only 3,264 votes. Let's now consider how the new plan creates this loss of black voters. You are now viewing the old unchanged Georgia 6. All the little structures inside the outer borders represent census blocks. The census block is the smallest unit which the Census Bureau uses to aggregate population. Census blocks are used by redistricting mappers, so instead of talking about registered black voters, we'll switch to census blocks and consider general population counts and their demographics. In case you're wondering, Georgia 6 has 5,913 blocks, while Georgia State has somewhat less than 250,000. Let's first consider the parts that the old Georgia 6 will lose in the new plan and where those parts go. 3 parts are lost: west, south, and east, shown here along the southern border of Georgia 6 in different colors. The west part is almost 18% black, and under the new plan will be transferred to Georgia 11, a Georgia 6 neighbor to the west. The current and planned Georgia 11 are both comfortably white majority, so the arrival of the west part and its high concentration of black folks will make little difference. This is classic racial splitting. The meter on the right shows the percentage change of Georgia 6 white and black populations produced by part loss and is expressed relative to their original values. After loss of the west part, the black population experiences a higher rate of decrease. The south part is 14.3% black, and under the plan will be transferred to Georgia 4, which is a Georgia 6 neighbor to the south. The current and planned Georgia 4 are both comfortably black majority, so the arrival of the south part and its black folks will serve only to enhance the Georgia 4 black majority. This is racial packing. However, this large transfer of people creates big problems in Georgia 4, to which we will return. The meter shows that the black population in Georgia 6 again decreases at a faster rate than the white population after loss of the south part. The east part is about 8.6% black, and under the plan will be transferred to Georgia 7. The current and planned Georgia 7 are both comfortably minority-majority. So the arrival of the East part and its black folks will serve only to enhance the Georgia 7 minority-majority. This is minority packing. The meter shows that the Georgia 6 black population again decreases at a faster rate than the white population after loss of the East part. You are now viewing the carcass of the old Georgia 6. Problem is that this remaining part needs 270,260 people to meet the ideal population dictated by the new census data. From where will these come? Well, the redistricting plan includes 2 additions to the remainder of the old Georgia 6, a south and a north part. The south part is about 10% black and is transferred from Georgia 11. The meter shows little change in the relative white-black demographics of Georgia 6 as a result of adding the south part, but progress is made towards achieving the ideal population. The north part is only 4.3% black, and under the plan is transferred from Georgia 7 and Georgia 9. This joint transfer comprises the totality of Forsyth County, an overwhelmingly white majority place with a well-known racist legacy. As mentioned earlier, the planned and old Georgia 7 are minority majority, and the loss of the smallish black population and large white population has little effect on its status. The planned and old Georgia 9 are white majority by a wide margin, so the loss of its share of Forsyth County has little effect on the status of Georgia 9. However, the meter now shows a big change in the white-black demographics of the planned Georgia 6 as a result of adding the north part. Relative to the old Georgia 6, the planned Georgia 6 features a wider disparity between its white and black populations. Overall, this is racial gerrymandering, which will matter critically in a close election. The addition of the north and south parts finally brings the planned Georgia 6 to the ideal population. Exactly. This precision helps us understand that the additions and losses were carefully planned and full of intent. Parsing the details is sometimes the best way to illuminate intent. Now, earlier I mentioned that the acquisition of the south part of Georgia 6 created problems in Georgia 4. The problem is that this transfer balloons the general population of Georgia 4 way beyond the ideal. What to do? Transfer to neighboring districts, of course, and as will be shown shortly, this transfer reveals a loop critical to the racial makeup of the new Georgia 6. So this is the old Georgia 4 with its new, very populous acquisition from Georgia 6. To depopulate Georgia 4, the plan moves the part indicated by the tan color into Georgia 7. This transfer is almost 38% black, but matters little to the old or new Georgia 7, since it is now, and under the plan, will remain minority majority. The transfer simply packs more minority into Georgia 7 for more minority packing. This transfer matters in ways that aren't immediately obvious. The transfer's total population eventually helps compensate Georgia 6 for its population lost to Georgia 4 by enabling a population transfer of 183,000 from Georgia 7 back to Georgia 6. The key difference, however, is that the latter transfer features a much reduced black population density relative to the Georgia 6 to Georgia 4 transfer. These steps create a multi-step racial split. Now, the details here can be confusing, but this summary population flowchart for Georgia 6 can help. The chart shows how population was moved between districts with the goal of altering the demographics of Georgia 6 while achieving the target population at the same time. Note the difference between the Georgia 6 additions and losses subtracted from its original population yields the ideal population. Exactly. And here's the transfer we just considered, but which is now shown as a component in what can be called a racial dilution concentration loop. So why is that? Because the initial transfer is 14.3% black and 49% white, but the final transfer is a diluted 4.7% black and a more concentrated 60% white. The operation of this special population loop also helps explain why the new Georgia 7 will show the largest percent increase of registered black voters, which we saw earlier. Well, that's a lot of steps to manage Georgia 6, a district that needed to lose a measly 657 people to meet the ideal population. But the existence of this complexity makes clear that the redistricting plan released by the Republican-led Georgia legislature on October 1 has much more purpose and structure than straight-up reapportionment would require. In the end, however, it's a pretty simple algebra at work here. If the plan is enacted, Republican legislators in Georgia will remove more black population from Georgia 6 than they replace. And they'll replace more white population than they remove. This is how racial gerrymandering occurs in 2021 Georgia.